So for a while, that was just my use case, like Zapier was the CRM to MailChimp tool. And it takes a while for you to kind of like understand, get to that click moment where it's not just that, it's not just email parsing. It's not just connecting a CRM to a mailing tool. It all of a sudden becomes, this breadth of possibility once you kind of start thinking about automation on the forefront and start thinking about the tasks that you're just doing over and over again that can be solved with automation.
Hey everybody, Dobbin Buck here for the Cabin Signal. So excited today to have my guest, Emily Breuninger from Zapier. She is the Manager of Partnerships at Zapier and is really our main conduit to our partnership relationship with Zapier. This year, we took our relationship with the company Zapier to the next level with our certification and advanced certification in regards to our partnership with their company. And we have been so super excited. Now, we have been using Zapier for many, many, many years and successfully with hundreds of different clients, but to really make it official has been a big boon for GetuWired. Emily, welcome today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Dobbin. Really happy to be here. GetuWired has been just a phenomenal partner for us. So really excited to take the time and just jam with you.
Yeah, well, great. Well, once again, coming to you from the GetuWired Cabin during the COVID situation that we have going on around the world. I'm actually here at the cabin. There's like 3 other people, but the 40 other so people are scattered around North Georgia. So it's nice to be in here today, and it's nice to be here with you. So Emily, why don't we tell our audience, I'm sure that a lot of them everybody should be aware. If you're not aware of Zapier, you've probably not been very plugged in, but could you give us just a brief description of what Zapier provides, what the software provides to today's small business owners?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess in like a sentence, I would say Zapier is a workflow automation tool, connecting the web tools that you use on a day-to-day basis with each other. Kind of integration software without actually having to build the integration. Very no-code type tool. The use case that I usually use is, let's say you have a Google Sheet, you're getting new leads in the Google Sheet, and you want to send those leads to your customer relationship management tool, your email tool, but there's no native integration. You can set up a workflow within Zapier so that whenever a new row comes in the Google Sheet, it automatically gets added to the CRM or the email tool without you needing to do the copy and paste manually.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so in a nutshell, what traditionally with GetuWired being a full service agency, we've got 15 full stack developers here. People have over the years come to us all the time with, hey, I need an API integration between this tool and this tool, and how much is that going to be, Dobbin? And I'm like, well, if you don't send your kids to college, as planned, you're probably going to be able to afford it. So a lot of this stuff gets real expensive in regards to custom integrations between systems traditionally. Well, what Zapier brings to the table is not only a super low cost integration, but also no code, Emily mentioned, and we'll touch down on that a little bit more, but real accessible connectivity and technology for people that aren't PHP experts, that aren't coders. A normal business person can go in, leverage Zapier, connect systems, and transfer information and trigger different things automatically through workflows. So it's really a useful tool, and GetuWired has used Zapier and continues to use Zapier on a daily basis to quickly implement integrations that help our clients and help them to save money too. Custom coding and all for integrations. If you can avoid that, it's going to help you to be able to put that money, elsewhere. So real exciting. Now, I want the audience to maybe understand a little bit better the scope of what we're talking about. How many integrations are currently in the database on your website or that are available to people out there that would like to use Zapier between systems?
Yeah, right now we have about 2,500, and we're adding about 100 a month at this point. And that's public integrations, so integrations that you can find in our directory. Behind the scenes, as far as like quote unquote private integrations that either agencies like yourself have built for kind of a one-off use case, or app owners have built but don't want to actually make public, there's thousands and thousands more. So really a lot of just one-to-one combinations, but kind of the unique thing about Zapier is you can create multiple steps within the same workflow. So let's say you have that kind of same use case I was talking about before with the row to Google Sheets, adding it to your customer relationship management tool. Maybe then you want to get a notification in Slack, or you want to add it to your email tool, or you want to create a task also in your customer relationship management tool. You can start like piggybacking, chain linking these tasks, or these steps together, so that you're all of a sudden have this infinite permutation of possibilities within Zapier.
Well, and it is practically infinite. So for those of you that are interested, you should really go to the Zapier website. And I tell you what, the database that shows you all the integrations and then what each of the steps, each of the connectors within workflows that are on their website is like really useful. It's really easy to use. It's really useful, and it's mind-blowing. I actually go there pretty frequently, so it isn't like I just went one day and looked at it all. But I spent hours just sort of like looking at the possibilities between SaaS apps that I'm familiar with, and every time I go there, I'm like, wow, they do that. It's amazing. So as she mentioned, over 2,500 opportunities, in other words, different SaaS applications that can be interconnected. And it's not just like a one-to-one interconnected. These things can be daisy chained in workflows to where you're making a multitude of moves through a singular workflow in Zapier. And I just think it is an amazing game changer. See, I think that a misconception of people that have been around a while, Emily, is that Zapier is an email parser, that like when we go back, we were all started out really using Zapier as an effective parsing tool a long time ago, but it's generations beyond that at this point. I'm sure you will agree with me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd say generally speaking, people have that very specific use case that they start with Zapier. And for everyone, it's a little bit different. It's interesting to hear you say email parsing, because for me, it was connecting MailChimp to our CRM. So whenever we got a subscriber in MailChimp, I needed to connect it to my CRM, close.io, and I couldn't find a way to do it. So I asked my developer to build the integration. And he just looked at me like, you are crazy. You can use Zapier for that. And I was like, this is back in 2013. I was like, wait, what? Zapier? Never heard of that. So for a while, that was just my use case. Like Zapier was the CRM to MailChimp tool. And it takes a while for you to kind of like understand, get to that click moment where it's not just that. It's not just email parsing. It's not just connecting a CRM to a mailing tool. It all of a sudden becomes, this breadth of possibility once you kind of start thinking about automation on the forefront and start thinking about the tasks that you're just doing over and over again that can be solved with automation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And we're real excited on a day-to-day basis. we're constantly looking for opportunities to leverage the tool. And the more we use it, the more we learn about it. And we're experts at Zapier, and we're learning more about the opportunities. That's how broad the abilities of this tool are. And I don't take this lightly. This isn't some kind of a Zapier sales pitch or something. This is something that I'm talking about because we're really excited about it. And this is actually something that that helps you to not have to pay me a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you can literally go in there and figure some stuff out and do it yourself. And a great thing about Zapier partners is that you can get it to a certain point yourself. And if you run into a hurdle, there's an expert waiting for you. GetuWired are experts, and we might be able to help you get over the next hump in 10 or 15 minutes, or it might be something really involved that takes a lot of effort. But more often than not, I'm seeing amazing things done by people that really have a very limited technology background. And this is something that's it's the wave of the present. It's actually a wave of the past. It's the wave of the present, and it's definitely where we're heading in the future. You all are really forerunners, thought leaders in the no code. Can I call it a movement?
That's what I've been calling it. A movement, yeah. I think that's a good way to call it.
Yeah, so the no-code movement. So a lot of progressive SaaS developers are really orienting their software to where it will interact with a multitude of other systems in a way that doesn't require agency, that doesn't require coders to get in the middle of it, and it lets normal human beings without computer science degrees to be able to make these connections. And you all have, and you in particular, Emily, you develop relationships with these other software companies on, it must be a daily basis at this point. Can you maybe name a few of them that you think are, really progressive in regards to this thought movement of people being able to serve themselves through no code, similar to Zapier,
Yeah, for sure. I've always said, like, if you were looking to build a SaaS platform, you could do it entirely in no code at this point. You use Airtable for your database, you use Zapier for your integrations, and then you use Webflow for your front end. And there you go. You've got an entire software platform kind of just using no code. So those are kind of like my three go-tos. And, there's niche products within each kind of like ecosystem. You can get into like Coda, for example, for more like no code doc type kind of workflows. But there's a lot out there, and it's just an evolving ecosystem. So really, really interesting and cool to be in that ecosystem, and to be able to be working with these players that, we see on our end the usage of. So we see the usage just going up and up and up for, Airtable, Coda, Webflow, Bubble, all of these software tools that are completely no code, just completely taking off right now. So yeah, it's really cool.
That's great. A lot of our audience, our clients, our friends are out of the CRM marketing automation ecosystems that we've thrived in for years, such as Infusionsoft, Keep, ActiveCampaign. And I feel like I'm pretty adept at these things, but I did a re-review example of the Zaps that are currently available for Infusionsoft, and it's staggering. You've been developing some really incredible sort of deeper dive relationships with these CRMs. Can any words on that for our Infusionsoft fans or ActiveCampaign fans out there?
Yeah, I'll say for both Infusionsoft and ActiveCampaign, they're kind of like two of our top integrations in our ecosystem. We talk about 2,500 public, thousands more private. Not every single one of those is going to have the usage that Infusionsoft and Campaign do. In fact, 95% of them don't. So when you're speaking to, really popular CRMs or email marketing, email automation tools, We really try our best to compete with native. And that means different things for different tools, for different native integrations, certainly as well. But we're always trying to, take user feedback and apply it to our integration. So if we get a user that requests, let's say like updated X, Y, and Z field, or, changed opportunity status, or whatever that feature is that we don't have, we'll start collecting that feedback. And if it's an externally built integration, meaning an integration built by Infusionsoft or by ActiveCampaign, we'll send that directly their way. And we kind of have a partner management and engineering team that works with their team to develop those features. If it's a tool that we built internally, we have a team of, at this point, I think 15 engineers that full-time are working to build and maintain these integrations. So, we're of course stack ranking the priorities and tackling the ones that have the most feature requests first, but that's ultimately our goal, to be able to say, hey, like, you could use a direct connection or you could use Zapier, and they'll give you the same functionality.
Yeah, well, the sweet thing about Zapier is not just like, oh, I want to connect this to this, but it's the workflow aspect of it. That if there's a multitude of different things, different behaviors or different actions that you want to all intersect with one another, you can really, line it up and get creative. And that's what I think it is. I think Zapier is a creative tool for technology. It's fascinating. And so if you're a, whatever your marketing automation platform, and I know a lot of people that watch us use marketing automation platforms, check out what they've got in there. Go to the website, do the search, look at the softwares that you're currently using, and just look at what's going on with Zapier in your softwares. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, if not amazed, because I'm amazed on a regular basis. One thing I'll mention is, and I mention this whenever I speak with a SaaS partner of ours, that at GetuWired, within our culture, we have 3 rules for any service, any SaaS offering that we employ in our, what we'll call our day-to-day tech stack, things that we stand behind, that we use on a day-to-day basis. And one is that the software is trustworthy and effective. The other is that the company, their core values are in alignment with our own core values, as far as how we care for ourselves, how we care for our clients, and how we care for the spirit of the general public and the world of entrepreneurs. And then the third is more of a personal aspect of it, is that the people behind the software need to be the types of people that we want to work with. And we want to have a direct connection to decision makers and people that can support us while we're, utilizing their software. And certainly Zapier scores 100 on all 3 of those. And it's just been an incredible experience. If you're an agency and you're not currently working with Zapier or haven't submitted to become a Zapier expert, it's well worth taking a look at and speaking with them. It's been a great move for us, and nothing but positivity in regards to that. And but Zapier is, you have a fascinating culture, and I think one thing that people don't understand is that, and maybe you could share this with us, you're like 100% work from home culture. Not just because of COVID, like leading the way. How does that work at your scale? 15 developers for this, hundreds of people. I mean, how many employees do you all currently have? It's huge.
Yeah, man, I'd say over 350, pushing 400 at this point, and growing pretty rapidly from a hiring standpoint. So some background information. Zapier has been around since 2011, and we started fully remote, and we've just kind of continued that trajectory. At this point, we have employees all over the US, of course, but also all over the world. Every single continent besides Antarctica is represented at Zapier. So it makes for a really, really cool culture, I think, in a lot of ways. Like, first of all, I just think Zapier did it right. As it pertains to remote, we have a very transparent culture. So you're really able to, communicate asynchronously in a way that feels productive and also transparent, which I think is just embedded in our core values. It also just creates a huge diversity of opinions, of thought leadership. Nobody's boring, in my opinion. Like, you can get on a call with somebody from South Africa, or somebody from Colombia, South America, or, somebody from Asia. And everybody has, unique experiences and unique passions too. You get to learn about all these different kind of things that people are doing around the world. So really, really great culture that I think permeates into our partnerships, and something personally that attracted me to the company even way back when I first learned about Zapier in 2013, and is why I'm still here today, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. I can't imagine the leadership and operational wizardry that it must take to orchestrate 400 people around the world, keeping it cultural and providing a world-class product that, I mean, how many people are using Zapier?
I think official numbers are in the millions. It depends on, we go between, number of signups, which I think are like 5 to 6 million, versus active users are less. But yeah, it's quite a lot of users, for sure.
So they're 400 people serving millions of satisfied customers around the world, and persnickety agencies like ours, and they're doing it, with a smile and an energy that is just most admirable. Everybody that I've had the honor to connect with through you on your team has just been extraordinary people. And it's not just, it's just not like extraordinary people in the workplace. They're all like cool people, Emily, we have some things in common, is into the outdoors and travel and adventure, and same with Greg that we work with. And I just think it's fascinating. When I grow up, I want to be like them. I'm sort of like them, actually. I do a lot of outdoors and fly fishing. Some of you may know.
I was gonna say we're pretty similar in that respect. So.
But that's great,
Mm-hmm.
And how does that? And do you find that to be common across the whole culture and leading up to the founders, or how does that look?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned values earlier. Like, Zapier has kind of 4 main core values that they're not like those values that you sometimes see on SaaS websites that, they just like copied from some other SaaS website and never actually like talked about again, So we really try to emulate those values on a day-to-day basis. And I think the ones that like kind of stand out as something that I think has really influenced our culture the most positively is the empathy over ego value. So how that translates on kind of like a day-to-day basis is there's no like job that's too small for anyone in the company. You have our CEO going in and still doing all hands support for customers. So like answering support tickets, or if you were to ping him one day randomly about just some random question, he would answer it. And that's valuable. They're never afraid. Any of our founders or CEO, any VP, any C-level isn't afraid to like sit down and just have a meal with you when we actually get together every once in a while. And I think that's great, right? Like it creates this empathetic attitude that then, extends beyond just our company culture and into our customer culture or our culture with our partners, no partner too small is something that I've always repeated constantly, so it's valuable. And I really appreciate that from a cultural aspect and also just from a human aspect. It's so easy to just put a number or a price tag on everything that you do, instead of just putting a face on whoever you're interacting with.
Yeah, it's a requirement for me. I need to know the faces. I need to dig the vibe, and not just me, but anybody here. The thing about it is, if that doesn't exist, we may initially have some attraction to a product or service or company or something, but it never seems to go very far. It doesn't gain traction, and it's generally not very long term. But when we connect with a great product and the people behind it are empathetic, are heartfelt, believe in what they're doing, and you can tell when people are happy with their lives and their place and their profession. It doesn't take a wizard to to see that. It makes a lot of difference. So what I'm trying to impress to everybody out there with this is, one, I've shared before about the selection process of GetuWired, but doesn't it make you feel better when you're working with a modern company that cares about people and that has great people behind it? Every time you use Zapier, every time you touch that product, something resonates, and that something resonates with me. So that's just really cool. And my hat's off to y'all. With like, when we've partnered with Infusionsoft and a lot of different certifications, and I'm here to say that each of those companies that we've taken really seriously and made a part of our day-to-day offering opportunities, we learn something from them culturally, and we take things. So people talk about the GetuWired cabin and our culture and all of that stuff. And really what we have going on here in the backwoods of North Georgia is a hybrid of great ideas from people like Zapier that we've gleaned insights. They're way bigger companies than us, of course, but if they're able to do it at that level of scale, which is just quite frankly amazing to me, it's way easier for us as the smaller businesses, the agencies, or regardless of what you are out there, real estate, financial, fitness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can apply these same traits and same, sentiments to how you're working with people and how you're working your customers. So that's really incredible. Let's future pace a little bit, Emily. What's coming up with Zapier, or as far as your roadmap? I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with world domination, and you're already well on your way. But is there any guiding light or things that we can be looking forward to as consumers, as business owners from Zapier coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that's going to be most interesting to you, Dobbin, and to any other agency that's listening is our agency program that we're launching. We have our existing experts program. We've had it for years, but frankly, it just hasn't gotten the love that I think it really deserves. Both from a human standpoint, we just had one human managing it for a very long time, but also from a product standpoint, right? Building out the product features and the directory and the marketplace that our agencies and experts are really looking for. So we're looking to launch that late Q3, maybe Q4, and we're really, really excited for that. And that's really what brought us into this relationship. Dobbin's been kind enough to be a part of our very scrappy pilot that we put together with Zaps and Google Sheets and a Typeform that we've seen a lot of success out of. So I'm really, really excited personally to be launching that. From a pure product standpoint, we kind of have a few initiatives this year. I'd say the two that are the most interesting from a product standpoint are going to be, first of all, our company's initiative. So basically launching an enterprise plan. Mainly right now, the enterprise features that we've been building have been around security. So just making the product as secure as possible. Part of that is getting SOC 2 this year, which is a bear. If you're a software platform out there that has gotten SOC 2, man, hands off to you. It's not easy. And then also just kind of user permissions and more advanced kind of security features. The other initiative that we're really working towards is onboarding. So providing a really like streamlined, straightforward experience for new users. Part of that kind of plays into our agency program. So providing that option for users to say they want to just hire an agency to implement their platform or their workflows for them. But then the other side of the coin is if users do want to set things up themselves, making it very simple for them to do so, depending on where they came in. So I'd say those are like our two biggest initiatives. The other things that we're working on are more kind of like bets, like potential. One of the things is, like a bulk upload feature. So instead of, one-off zaps, kind of the way that Zapier works is if this happens, then do this on a, case-by-case basis. So every new, then do this versus if I have like a CSV of something that I want to import into a CRM, you wouldn't be able to do that with a platform today. So that's something we're looking to change with one of the features that we're building as more of a bet. We kind of finished the prototyping for that. I think we're right now in kind of alpha stealth mode, but hoping to release that later this year as well. And we'll see how it goes. Honestly, like fingers crossed if it goes well. Next for us is two-way sync, which has been like a huge feature request for some time. But first things first, bulk upload.
Well, that's great. And to that, with Zapier, check out what's going on today, but rest assured, what's going on 6 months now, there will have been a ton of work that's done. Everything is evolving. Everything is changing on their platform at such an exponential rate that it's definitely, I mean, if you're utilizing Zapier, if you're an agency, if you're somebody that's into your technology, you should put it in your calendar to at least touch base with what they have going on a quarterly basis. I mean, that's how rapidly that they're implementing things. And just back to what you said about the new partner program, I've been a true player in a number of different SaaS certified partnerships, and I can truly say that I have never been so warmly welcomed into a new ecosystem and, integrated and made to, just, we really got down to business quickly with our pilot group, which is a group of different agencies. And we're currently meeting on a regular cadence, and we've developed new friendships, and it's just the richest experience. And I'm a big fan of my other certifications. I've been a certified partner of Infusion Software, I don't even know how, over a decade, things like that. And I love all those companies, but you really have done a outstanding job of giving us an incredible experience. And I can only imagine once this opens up to the to other agencies and out there that it's going to be real appealing. So that's my heartfelt endorsement for their partner program to those friends of mine that aren't familiar with it or are interested in the future to totally take a look at that and take it seriously. And thank you so much. It means a lot to us because we get, I'll stop talking here, but we get a lot of opportunities to be affiliates, partners, certified partners with a lot of different platforms. And it's very few of them that we wind up getting deep into and getting the traction that we've, in a relatively short time with you, that we've gotten. And it's a testament to, your commitment to us and making us feel great. And of course, back to a mind-blowing product. So, I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a kind of a passion project of mine, honestly, like something that I really wanted to kind of explore with Zapier, this idea of almost matchmaking, right? Finding users that really are looking for an agency to do this for them, right? I get that our product's easy to use and that pretty much anyone could do it without knowing code, but the bottom line is not everyone wants to do it. Um, and I don't think that they need to, bungle their way through it if they'd rather just pay for it. And we've just really seen a lot of users kind of raise their hand and say, yep, like I'd rather just pay for this. And it's a really fantastic partnership, I think, for Zapier and for these agencies that we're working with. And our users too, like our users are just having phenomenal experiences in the things that they're building, the projects that they're going back to kind of work with y'all on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, what we can build out of this program once it launches.
That's great. I've been amazed. The Zapier clients that we've been introduced to, we go in and they get to a point they might need a little bit of help, whether it's they run out of time or they've run into a technical hurdle or a roadblock. But some of these workflows that we've sort of jumped into, I'm like, boom, like, how did they figure out this stuff? I mean, there's just a myriad of data flowing between systems, and it's just like, how do these normal human beings figure this stuff out? And they figure out one thing and they add something else to it, and it's like Legos,
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you have a Maltese Falcon.
Right. It gets pretty crazy, all of a sudden you have like 100 steps in your Zap, and it's a behemoth of possibility and also confusion. And I'll say for the Zaps that I've created that are 10, 12 steps, I kind of start freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's just been inspiring to see what normal business owners that are embracing their technology have done, and then when it gets to us and we're helping them through a hurdle or something, it's just really admirable. And I always tell them, and Bobby Brown, who's my cohort in this mission from GetuWired, he's like, wow, this is really cool. So we're just really stoked. And once again, to everybody out there, make sure that you check out this technology. Check out what they have. They've got a lot of information out there, a lot of videos in regards to integrations, how to leverage Zapier, and there's tons of resources and helpful, and helpful tips and people out there, and great agencies. We are one agency of many that are here to help Zapier customers, but all the agencies that I've become intimate with and friends with, they're all very capable. So there's just a wonderful ecosystem. It's growing, and it's only getting more incredible. So, well, I think we're at the top of our time, Emily, but gosh, I'm so appreciative of you taking time out of your busy schedule to connect with me today. And you've got some raving fans over here at the GetuWired cabin.
Well, good to hear. We're big fans of yours as well. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, Dobbin. This has been really great.
Okay, well, wonderful. And all of you, thank you for viewing the Cabin Signal. Once again, coming to you from the backwoods of North Georgia at the GetuWired cabin headquarters, where most everybody is scattered amongst North Georgia, working at home during the COVID pandemic, but we move on and we thrive. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you enjoy this, make sure that you go to YouTube, check out our other interviews, our other videos. Of course, on our monthly newsletter, we're putting out 3 fresh pieces of video content a month. Make sure you sign up for that. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all those other incredible places that you may frequent in the social strata. Have a great day.